Oops, we had forgotten to record. Sorry for that. We have to make it intentional. I need to push myself to do it. To start asking for feedback, I need to push myself, not sit there and wait for feedback. What if it doesn't come? If it is to change, I need to push. I need to make it my own initiative to start changing. And this could be guided by various principles. I have several principles here. We'll explore together. And one of them is a vision. You need to know what you want. We've talked so many times about what is your goal. You have a goal. And I used one example, I've used it so many times, about wanting to graduate in exactly 4 years, because that is how long my program should take. I don't want to have any delays, maybe because of cheating in exams. I don't want to delay because I got pregnant and I had to go home for 1 year. So I delayed for 1 year. No, I don't want that. I want to graduate within the stipulated time. And so I need to have that vision. I'll translate it by making sure that I set my goal. I need to be truthful to my thinking. Don't put unrealistic goals. Unaweza anza kusema I want to graduate hata in 3 years, not even 4 years. That one may not work because the program itself is structured in a way that you'll complete it in 4 years. So be truthful. Kama unajua haiwezekani, usiweke. Maybe put ways in how you'll make it possible. Struggle or endeavor to make it possible. You also always need to sit down and reflect. You've done something. Ask yourself, was it right? You don't have to go, before you even go for feedback, asking someone, did I really do right? Ask yourself first, did I do it right? Was that the right decision? Think about it and reflect. Write it even down. You learn of the tools that will help you reflect, like journaling. You sit down and write, just like we used to write diaries. I don't know kama siku hizi mnaandika diaries. What Gen Z? Do you have diaries? Like, I remember our days, we used to buy that small notebook. Unaandika. So many things, everything you do every day, you write it there. So if you wanted to know secrets about someone, you just steal that diary. Oh my, you're laughing. That's what we used to do. I should show you mine. I wish we had a physical class nikuoneshe yangu hapa saizi. Yeah, you write everything. So ikienda kwa mkono mbaya, then you're done because you had written like all your secrets there. But anyway, that was it. How do you do it? In this age, from the laughter, I can guess hakuna diaries. So how are you capturing those moments, memories, lessons today? Share with us. I know me and my colleagues hapa tuko old age in the phones. Good. I can imagine if I were to bump into your phone. Lazima iko na password. Haiwezi kuwa na hizo vitu zote na haina password. In your phone. Diary in the phone, yes. Biometrics kwanza. So nikikufanya ulale nichukue kidole nijaribu nayo, I'm good. Keep notes on Android phones, yes. Good, at least there is a method you capture those memories, which is good, because that is what helps you in terms of reflection. You'll sit down, note it down, and then ask yourself, what do I think of this? What I've captured in the phone? Is it good? Is it helping me as a person? Is it building my confidence? Is it building or growing me? That is what you should be seeking to answer. Discipline, meaning I've set a vision. I've set activities that will take me there. I must stick to that. Kama tulitengeneza table ya study habits, nimesema one thing, I'll be waking up at 5 every day, ama 4 to study. I must be disciplined. Nikisema leo nimechelewa, nilikuja late, tulienda timba, tumerudi late, hatujalala, wacha nilale leo, sitaamka 5, but kesho I'll compensate. That is discipline. You don't let it just go. Use your intuition as much as possible. Your gut feeling. Kitu yenye naniambia, hiyo si poa. Hii haitaenda vizuri. Always follow that instinct. Many times it will always be right. And then be committed. Compassion and commitment are very key. Have a feeling of whatever you're saying you'll do. Think of, is it fair? Is it going to be good for me? If it were to happen to someone else, would it still be fair? Will it still be good? If you feel like it will not be good for me, then no way it will be good for someone else. Like the statement I gave you make in class at what wengine, blah, 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 blah. If me personally, I'll not take it well, why should I assume that someone else will be comfortable with it? I should start from there. If I'm not comfortable with it, then I assume nobody else will be comfortable to it. Then commitment. Always stick to that schedule. So those are the principles that will guide you. And then here we have the steps that will help you to build your mastery. You've developed your vision, yes. Clarify on it. Be sure that is exactly what you want. You define what you want and how you want to achieve it. Clarify. If you realize you had set a goal, but you're saying like it might not work or it's not clear, go back and clarify it. That should be the first step. Because the moment you get it right, then the next steps will come in correct. Commit to lifelong learning. Always aim to improve. You might learn something is not working based on how you had planned to implement it. Improve it. Use that as a lesson to make it better and doable. Self-reflection, I've talked about it. Always sit down. Like if you have your study habits, you've put down goals on how you'll achieve that. Every day sit down and see, did it work? Did it go well? Am I yielding or benefiting from it? If not, you improve it. There's no point in sticking to a bad plan that is not working just for the sake of following it to the end. Always improve it. And that's why we said with personal mastery, you're always ready to learn. Learning is continuous. Take challenges positively. Maybe kati ilikuja, hauko umesoma vizuri, hauko pita vizuri, ama hata ulianguka. Embrace that as a lesson. Next time, I'll make sure I study early enough. When you're reflecting, you'll be asking yourself, why did I fail? Maybe I didn't attend classes. Next time, you'll make sure you attend all the classes. Then, of course, we've talked about feedback. I'll not dwell much on it. Always ask a friend. It's good to have a walking buddy. Have a partner hapo in your class, in campus, hata kama ni a different year, a good partner. Put that in quotes. A partner who will help you achieve your goal. A partner who will help build your self-esteem. Partner who will help you identify who you really are. Not partners wa kukutumia tu hapo na kukuangusha, kukutupa, you know. They're those ones who will just be there for some benefits, weird benefits, and they drop you. You had a best day in first year, second year, hamsalimiani. No, that is negative energy that we don't want for personal mastery. So embrace the positive energy and then always stay disciplined. We've said always adhere to that plan. If you've developed it, follow it to the letter. If you had, maybe you were sick, you couldn't follow it, make time to make up for that. And you'll be sure that you're on the right track. I don't know whether there are any comments there or questions. My colleagues, you can just let me know. If there are any concerns, just raise it up as we continue. So as we wind up, you can see my time is up. I would like us to listen to this motivational speech. It tells us about—
Welcome to the channel. Sorry. Are you ready to change your—
It tells us about the pillars that will help us develop as individuals. Just a build up towards personal mastery. It's also very fast. Let me slow it down. Okay. I think 7 is a good pace. Listen keenly. I'll expect you at least to pick something out of it. Okay.
Welcome to the channel. Are you ready to change your life forever? Personal development is the key to unlocking your full potential. Today, we'll walk through the 7 powerful pillars that will help you grow into the best version of yourself. Pillar 1, mindset mastery. Your mindset shapes your actions. Shift from limiting beliefs to empowering thoughts. Start each day with positive affirmations. Focus on your strengths. Embrace challenges as opportunities. Pillar 2, continuous learning, never stop learning. Read books, take courses, seek knowledge. Every new skill brings you closer to your goals. Pillar 3, goal setting, set clear short-term and long-term goals. Write them down, break them into steps, celebrate progress. Pillar 4, health and wellness. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. Exercise. Eat nutritious foods. Get enough sleep. Physical health enhances focus and energy. Pillar 5, emotional intelligence. Recognize, understand, and manage your emotions. Cultivate mindfulness, active listening, and empathy. Strong emotional intelligence helps handle stress and build relationships. Pillar 6, relationships and networking. Build meaningful relationships and expand your network. Surround yourself with supportive, driven individuals. Share ideas. Create a community that lifts you higher. Pillar 7, time management. Time is your most valuable resource. Prioritize tasks. Eliminate distractions. Focus on what matters. Use tools like calendars, to-do lists, to stay organized. Embrace these 7 pillars to transform your life. Take action today and change your life forever. Hit subscribe.
Okay. I think that summarizes everything I've been talking about. What do you think? Does it? I talked about mindset, I've talked about continuous learning, I've talked about goal setting, relationships and networks, all that, time management, etc. You've heard it from the experts. If you do that, then you change. You're ready to change your life. And I expect that after this module, not this particular session, the whole module, because in the other modules I've said you learn more. If it is mindset, what exactly is mindset? How do you work on it? And so on. I hope after this module, as Dr. Miyaka said, it's a very key and timely module for you. And I had a reflection questionnaire for you. What message stood out most for you? Which pillar resonated with you most? Maybe I would be interested to know what part of, or which pillar made more sense to you that you would eagerly start practicing today, or you'll continue practicing today. Maybe you're already working on it. What stood out for you from that video? One word. As we wrap up, I'm eating into the second session already. Mindset. Good. Menza. How is your mind? What is the status of your mind at the moment? I believe when we started this session at 3 p.m., it's different. If I was to ask you one word to describe your feelings now, those who are curious, those who are anxious, I'm sure it would have changed. And I'll ask you that at the end. But I believe that mindset has already changed. Seek knowledge, good. Fadosa, go out and seek that knowledge. Don't hesitate. It doesn't show that you're a fool. It helps you grow. It helps you build your self-awareness, understand you better, and so on. Goals, Diana picked that. I'm sure if I were to ask you, do you already have a goal by now as a student at UOE? Do you think you have a goal? I'm sure you'd tell me something. Not like if I asked you that question when we started. Time management. Thank you, Josephat. That's good. Take action. Take control of your life, of yourself. Never stop learning. Iwiza, that is good. Continuous learning, and Dorcas. Great. At least I can see we are moving on together. And just to wind up, there was a case study here. Dr. Emoit, can you allow me wind up with this case study just to give a reality of...
Yes, please do. Dr.
Okay, thank you for that. So we had a case study here. The case study was about Amina. You can see that she's looking at me. This is an incoming first-year student at UOE. I'll change that to the context that we have. And she came here for her academic journey, whichever the school. She was very enthusiastic, but she encountered challenges as a first-year student. Adapting to the new environment was definitely not easy. Managing time effectively, you know, you've come from high school, you are keen on listening every time the bell would ring. It's the one that would move you. Here, nobody even tells you there's a class. You decide for yourself. I'll attend or I'll not attend. Building confidence in our abilities, you're no longer sure. Will I really make it? It's the first time I have freedom to make my own decisions. Will I really maneuver? So she had those challenges, and especially balancing her coursework, time ya kwenda class, zingine umemiss, hakuna kitu ya maana ulikuwa unafanya, maybe hata ulisoma timetable vibaya. Participating in group projects, kuna huyu student hapo anaitwa Juma, yeye ndio anaongea peke yake, haizi tuachie nafasi si tuongee. Maintaining her well-being, classes hapa zimewekwa mpaka 1. I know in high school, saa 6, saa 7, bell ina ring, mnaenda lunch mpaka saa 8. Hapa, nobody tells you that it's 1. Time ya lunch, utajipanga. So if you don't know that, umeanza kumiss lunch. Ukunywa chai, class ilianza 7, so you rushed to go book space. And so many. These ones were overwhelming, and they gave her stress. She was demotivated. And by the end of the semester, she didn't perform well. Ukiongeza lecturer strike hapo, so hii semester ina rush iko on first lane. Yani makeup kila mahali. Maybe your academic performance haitawezekana, haiwezi make. So those were challenges that Amina encountered. So the institution looked at that and realized they needed to address this challenge. We said pick challenges and make them useful. So UOE decided, let's offer them a course in personal mastery. Here we'll emphasize on self-awareness, let them know they can make it. They just need to understand themselves, change their ways. They need to set goals, and they need to be proactive. Go there and ask for that feedback. Reflect and ask yourself questions. So from that training, which is basically what you're doing now, you might be other Aminas here. So from the training, it was noticed that Amina was able to get a clear understanding of herself, her personal abilities, what she can do and what she could not do. She realized there are academic goals that she needed to become proactive about, set goals and so on. And then she also realized I need to manage my time well. If classes are at 7, I just need to organize myself, know what time to sleep, what time to wake up, so that I'm in class by 7. I don't need to skip my meals because I also need my well-being. I need other people to walk the journey with me, good people, not just other people who will derail you. They're there. So I need good people. They'll be my mentors. Some of them will be my peers. Some will be my lecturers. Some will be my parents, my aunt, my uncle, you know. Anyone who supports me in this journey that I've set my goal on will be a mentor. And in the end, there were definite changes on Amina. Definitely with all that, the training, like you're having this training now, there will be changes. I don't know which parts of Amina's journey you can relate to, the challenges she encountered. Which ones do you think you are experiencing at UOE here at the moment? Let me just go back to that introduction. This one. What challenges hit you? Unasema, hawa ni kama wananiongelelea hapa. Which ones hit you? Fadosa had a comment there, celebrate progress. Excellent. I had picked that and I even forgot. Celebrate any little milestone that you make. Any little success, no matter how small, make sure to shout about it. Those are your motivating factors. Okay. Do we relate to Amina, or those are weird challenges? They don't relate to your experiences. Time management is my current problem. Catherine, there's a session here that will help you clear on that, and it will no longer be a problem for you. Menza, the environment. Mlipata baridi ama nini about the environment? If we had time, I would really want to hear about the environment so that we can know how to address that. Yes, I relate, Aisha. Which particular point do you relate to? Adapting to the new environment. Nakupatia story na bell. Hapa hakuna mtu anakupigia bell. So, cold, baridi. Na hizi hata hakuna baridi. So at least next time you know, you learn from it. Every time unakuja again, a semester like this one, unabeba warm clothing. That is what self-awareness becomes. Constantly changing schedules. Ni gani hizo zimechange hivyo? We need to work on that. Give us more details, please. Because kama ni timetable, tunafaa to make sure it's not changing that much so that it's causing confusion to our dear students. Adapting to the environment, take it positive. Any new environment will cause you stress. Just try to adapt and fit. Critical decision making. At the university, you came from where your parent, your sister was making decisions for you. Now you have to make them. Some might be wrong decisions, others might be good and correct decisions. I hope from this course, you'll be able to know how to make good decisions. Change of everything, including environment and friends. Chelimo, take your time, especially with friends. Study your friends very well. I know you have 1 or 2 friends already, but take your time. Usitrust mtu sana, and you've only met for, I don't know, a few months. Trust with jicho moja wazi. I'm not saying your friends are bad, but we don't want to make wrong decisions. Managing time effectively, Koech, I said, you will learn on how to manage your time effectively. So in conclusion, we can say that personal mastery as a course is timely, and you should thank Dr. Muyaka and team for bringing it to you. For us, we never had this. In fact, this is the first time we're having this course at UOE. I'm sure it will change your perceptions, your time, your living, you as individuals at the university level. You'll be able to be aware of yourself. You'll know why you're there and have goals for that. You will be proactive in reaching out because you're now confident. You'll go out to anyone and ask what you need answered. And if that is your lifestyle, if that is the kind of person you are, then you'll be sure of your academic success in your academic journey. And apart from that, you'll be a very different person in terms of how you believe, how you handle yourself, how you behave. Everything will just be different about you. And that is what we want, because a successful student for us is as successful as an institution. So we hope you'll come from being overwhelmed, there's too much work, confusion all over, to clarity. You'll come from confusion to direction. You know what you want and you know which steps to take towards there. You'll come from being stressful to being confident and a person with very high self-esteem. And I really pray that that is what you'll become by the end of this course. So maybe I ask you again, one word to describe your feeling now after this session. Quickly, I'll give us 1 minute for that. One word describing your feeling now. Aha, Aisha, glad, educated. You've learned something. Anyone else? Quickly, hizo zinafaa zikuje mbio mbio sana. Only one word. How are you feeling now? I asked you the same question when we started. You are curious, delighted. Do you still hold the same? Informed, good. Gain more knowledge. Rosa, thank you. Just got confident. I'm glad. Charles, motivated. Keep it up. keep that motivation up, because the next sessions will also build on that. Motivation, relieved. Catherine, that's nice to hear. Ecstatic. Ivy, great, keep it there. Chelimo, shikilia hapo. Informed. So thank you so much for that wonderful session. Glad I heard from you, learned a lot from you also. Areas we need to improve as an institution. And now we move to session 2, which is on self-awareness and identity. Take note that this self-awareness, we said, is the foundation for personal mastery. And with that, please help me welcome Dr.
Dr.
Emoit
Sambela, I'm
to
coming
take us
in.
through that.
I'm coming in before Dr.
Oh, okay.
Emoit.
No problem. So, help me welcome Dr. Muchimuti to take us through the next session. Thank you so much, and keep the active participation. Let's learn together. Thank you. Karibu, Bwana
Thank you. Thank
Muchimuti.
you. Thank
I'll
you,
stop
Dr.
sharing.
Just give me 1 second so that I can share my slide. Are you able to see my work?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we can see your work, Dr. Ari. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to our second session, and thank you, Dr. Zambele, for that interactive session. I want to welcome our students for the second session, which is going to be on goal setting and time management. Just before we dive into how you are feeling this afternoon, I also encourage our students to just type or chat and tell me or share on how they are feeling this afternoon after the first session with Dr. Sembele. Maybe what Dr. Sembele forgot to mention, she was my classmate. And maybe I also want to introduce myself that I was in first year 20 years ago at the University of Eldoret in School of Education. My admission number is 4905.
That's good. Chimuti, I forgot. Good you mentioned it. Yes, classmates we are.
Yeah, Dr. Sambele, she was my classmate when we were doing our PhD. But I'm also an alumni at the university at Chepkwelel campus, Stock 05. So welcome to the second session. We're going to talk about goal setting and time management. Uh, um, this session is all about helping the University of Eldoret students to be in charge of the academic life here at the University of Eldoret, so that they have a clear purpose, so that they have less stress, and we end up by having a good results. Just a quick one, we are going to look at the introduction. I'm also going to mention about the setting of the goals, goal priority, techniques, the habit formation strategies, time management strategies. We're also going to look at a case study, and I'll conclude our session. So I want to start with a quick fun question. Just in the chat box, tell us, if time management was an animal, which one will you be right now? Are you going? Will you be a cheetah? Will you be a tortoise? Will you be a confused goat? Just in the chat box, kindly share. If time management was an animal, which one will yours be? If time management was an animal, which one will yours be right now? Will you be a cheetah when it comes to time management? Will you be a tortoise? Will you be a confused goat? Let me also check what you are. A confused goat. I've seen Catherine, she'll be a confused goat. The other one will be a kangaroo. There's someone saying that a snake.
There's a snake there.
Very interesting. Kindly share. I want this session also to be very interactive. This session, share if time management was an animal. I want you to describe in your own words. If time management was an animal, which one will be your animal? Oh, very interesting. The others will be tortoise, rabbit, and I think by end of this session, we'll be able to find out if you'll be a cheetah, you'll be a rabbit, you'll be a snail, or you'll be a lion, a cat, and etc. So let us start by looking at what is this. What is this goal setting? What is a goal? I'll also I'll open to interactive session. You are allowed to unmute and tell us what is a goal and what is this goal setting. Because we're going to spend a lot of in the next 1 hour discussing about goal setting and time management. What is a goal and what is goal setting? Class? What is a goal? Anybody who can unmute and describe what is a goal or what is goal setting?
It's a desired outcome that
Goal
you want.
setting, it is a desired outcome that you want.
Mm.
Okay, that is a good question. A good answer.
It's what you are striving to achieve.
It is what you're striving to achieve. And good answer. In the chat box, what is a goal? What is goal setting? Goal is having a plan for future. Naomi, that is good. Also try to respond to what is goal setting as you look at what is a goal. Because when you talk about a goal, is about the future. So when you talk about goal setting, it's just it's that process of identifying specific objectives you want to achieve and outline the clear steps to reach them. And we can also just say that when you talk about goal setting, it is a structured way of turning the aspiration into achievable plan. Like when you are in first year, you need to make sure that your goals are very clear. And that's why I started by introducing myself that I was in first year 20 years ago. And I've been teaching in the university for the last 15 years. So when I joined first year, my goals were very clear. I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew where I was going. And when it comes to this goal setting, you need to make sure that you have the clear elements that will guide you. You need to set your goals with a lot of clarity. You need to also to make sure that they're measurable. Like you have to set your you need to set your goals that by the end of 4 years, I need to achieve this. And these goals must be measurable. They must also be achievable. They must be also be relevant, and they must be bound to that specific time that you want to make sure that you achieve this goal. And why do we need this goal setting? What is the rationale? Why should we have goal setting as a component when you are a student? Goal setting is very important because it provides direction. It brings focus to an individual. When you are starting this journey, either when you are in first year or second year, third year, or fourth year, you need to make sure that you have clear goals, because these goals will provide direction and will also give you focus. The other rationale for goal setting is that it helps with planning, because we know that when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So when you set your goals, it will help in planning and setting your priority clear. It also boosts motivation when you have your goals that by the end of 4 years, you want to maybe you want to qualify to come back for your master's program, or you want to achieve first class, second class, and etc. You make sure that you set your goals very clear to boost your motivation and commitment. The other rationale for goal setting is that it enables an individual to track their progress so that you know what you have achieved, what you are planning to achieve, and what you will achieve at the end of the day. It also supports the better performance in academic work and for a personal growth. These are very important rationale for us to set our goals. Just like I've said the introduction here, that when you talk about goal setting and time management, these are integral. They work together. They are integral component of personal mastery because they enable students to direct their effort effectively, efficiently, so that they are able to achieve their desired outcome. And by establishing these clear goals and objectives, it will assist you as a student to manage your time effectively. It will also make sure that you are more productive, and it also help you to reduce stress and foster on personal and professional growth, such that at the end of 4 years, we make sure that we achieve what brought us to the University of Eldoret. Whether you are a fresher or you are a final student, being intentional with your goal and time will determine your academic success at the University of Eldoret. Just maybe share in that chat box, or you can unmute and just mention on some of the goals that you have set, or what you have in mind that you want to achieve at the end of your stay at the University of Eldoret. In the next, by the time you graduate, what are some of the goals that you want to achieve? Maybe you have the short goal. You can in chat box, or you can unmute and tell us what you want to achieve at the end of first year. Those are the short goal. What you want to achieve at the mid goals, maybe in second year. What are the long-term goals that you want to achieve? That is maybe after 4 years or whichever. You are allowed to unmute and tell us what are some of your goals that you want to achieve at the end of this program. You are free. The chat box. Kindly share what you want to achieve at the end of this program, or towards the end of your stay at the University of Eldoret. Gladys want to gain knowledge and skill and graduate after 4 years. Catherine, I want to have additional skill apart from studying my course. That is good. Jamal, make sure that you also write your name correctly so that we capture. Make sure that you use your official names, because for the record and for documentation, because we're going to provide, I think, something at the end of this program, or so that we capture in the report. Make sure that you use your 2 official names. There is Chelimo, to learn and have skills. Diana Beatrice, to be competent in agriculture, economics consultant, and improve food security in my community. That's great. Anybody who feel that he want to talk and tell us what he want to achieve at the end of this at the end of his or her course? Anybody want to speak? You are allowed. Feel free. Yeah, Dr. Miyaka is also mentioning that there is a certificate at the end of this module. Yeah, this is very encouraging. Some students want to make sure that they have short goals that they want to maybe get just a certificate at the end of this module. So make sure that your names are correct for the sake of certification. Just like what you have just mentioned, that students who manage their time and those who have clear goals, they perform better academically. Research has shown that. They also experience less stress. These students also balance their academic journey with the clubs, sports, and personal life. They also build that habit that helps them they also build habits that help them long after graduation. And the good news is that these skills can be learned. And that is why we are learning this course of this course of goal setting and personal development. These are steps you can follow when you are setting the goal. You need to make sure that the first step is you need to define your clear objectives. What are your objectives? I've seen some mentioning them in the chat box. Start by applying these SMART criteria that I will be demonstrating when we'll be learning this session. Also try to break these goals into manageable tasks. Try also to set a realistic and motivating deadline. Prioritize your goals for maximum impact, and I will encourage you to do a regular review and adjust your goals. These are very important steps that will assist you towards achieving your goal. When you are setting your goal, let us make sure that we have a SMART goal. As just I have explained, think of one area you want to improve this semester. Just think on one area that you want to improve this semester. For those who are in first year, this is your first semester. For those who are in second year, this may be your second academic year at the university. For those who are in third year, fourth year, just let us look at one area you want to improve this semester and try to share in your chat box. Which area do you feel that you want to achieve this semester? You want to improve? Which area? You are free to unmute and share the area that you want to improve. Kindly share the area that you feel you want to achieve. Just what she want to form more connection with my peers. She also want to improve in the area of there's Aisha Jamal. She want to improve the area of confidence. Feel free to share the areas that you want to achieve so that we can guide you on how to make sure that we improve this area. Kisa, she want to improve her network and confidence, to build my confidence. Chelimo, that is great. I want a different answer, areas that you want to improve. Catherine, she want to improve on public speaking. That's great. Naomi, she want to improve on self-awareness. That's great. Dr. Emoit will be sharing more on self-awareness. That's great. Coach, she want to build my public speaking. This is great. We're here to support you so that you achieve your goals. Ekomoye Ikalel, she want to be innovative. This is great. So these are the setting of, when you are setting a goal, you need to be smart. From these acronyms, S means specific. That means you need to be clear and focused. Make sure that you make your goals specific and narrow for a more effective planning. M means measurable. When you are setting your goal, make sure your goals and progress are measurable, such that you can track these goals. The other acronym, which is A, it means achievable. You need to be realistic, such that you make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. The other component acronym is relevant. So you need to make sure that your goals align to what matters. Your goals should align with your values, your vision, and the long-term objective during your stay at the University of Eldoret. And also time is very important, such that you need deadline. Set a realistic but ambitious end date to clarify the tasks, the priorities, and increase motivation. These are very important for you to achieve your goals. Make sure that you are smart. You need to make sure that you are specific. Those goals must be measurable. Those goals must be achievable. Those goals must be relevant, and they must be guided by a deadline. So that when you are planning, like I've looked at the chat box, some have mentioned about they want to make sure that they are going to improve on public speaking. They're going to be innovative. So we need to make sure that we are very specific with our goals. We need to make sure that what we want to achieve can be tracked. We also want to make sure that they are achievable. You cannot say that at the end of these 4 years you'll buy you'll buy a bus, and maybe because you are just a student, maybe that is not practical. So let us make sure that we are smart, we are specific on what we want to achieve at the end of 4 years or at the end of this semester. If you want to get this quality grade, make sure that you are specific. Look at those realistic goals that are relevant, then that must also have a timeline. The other important component that I wanted us to look at, for example, when at the University of Eldoret, instead of saying, I want to read more, a smart goal will be, I will read lecture notes for at least 45 minutes every weekday for the next 4 weeks. Don't just say that I'm going to read more. If you have a problem on concentration on oral task, don't just say that for this semester, I want to read more. Reading more is not specific. Be smart, set your goal smart, and say that I'll read lecturers' notes for at least 45 minutes every weekend for the next 4 weeks. That means you have a clear goal. Now it's your turn in the chat box. You can also look at some of the things that you want to achieve at the end of 1 year, at the end of 2 years, at the end of 3 years, at the end of 4 years, so that we are very clear. Don't just say that I want to achieve this. Let us have a time frame that I want to achieve this in the next 2 weeks, or 1 week, or 1 month, or 4 months, so that we will be able to achieve our goal. The other component that I wanted us to highlight today is a goal prioritization technique. These are very important for a student to prioritize the task because not all tasks are equal. When you look at my screen, I've tried to highlight the three important technique that we normally advise our students to use. The first one is Eisenhower matrix. Sometimes we call it a decision matrix, aka Elsen box and etc. The other component is ABC method, and the third one is Pareto principle, where we call it 80-20 rule. Let us start by looking at this first one, which is Eisenhower matrix. As I've displayed on this screen, we have this box which has 4 quarters. This method, it has the horizontal axis. The horizontal axis represents the urgency, with the left side being the most urgent and the right side being the least urgent. The vertical axis, which is y-axis, this one represents the important with the most important being at the bottom and the lowest important at the bottom. The most important being at the top and the lowest important at the bottom. And this creates a 4 quadrant which appears as follows. When you look at the first quarter, it is the urgent and important, and they comes at the top left quadrant. The second one is important but not urgent, where we talk about the top right quadrant. And the third one is the urgent but not important. The fourth one is not important and not urgent. This information is very important, or this matrix is very important for your stay at the University of Eldoret. Just like I've mentioned, the first one, urgent and important. When it comes to the urgent and important, it means you need to do now. What are some of the things that you need to do now? The second one is important but not urgent. What happens if the activities or the events, they are important but they are not urgent? What you do for the important but not urgent, you schedule them. The third one, these are urgent but they are not important. When activities are urgent but they are not important, what you do, you delegate or you can minimize. The fourth one is not urgent and not important. What do? You eliminate or you delete. So I will recommend this matrix for your stay at the university, where we look at the important activities and not important. For the important activities, I've advised you that you need to do now. And in the chat box, maybe you can share what are some of the things that are urgent and important. What are some of the things that are urgent and important for a student? Or you are allowed to unmute. Or you can share in the chat box. What are some of the things that are urgent and important? Exams and classes, attending classes, assignments, yeah, these are very important. What are the activities that are not important and not urgent? What are some of activities that are important? In the chat box, kindly interact. What are some of the activities that are important but they're not urgent? That is a takeaway. So during your free time, try to categorize activities that are urgent and those that are not urgent, but they're important. And I've advised you that for the activities that are important and they're urgent, make sure that you do them. And those that are not, they're important, but they're not urgent, you can schedule them. For the activities that are not important, you can delegate to your colleagues, your friends, or your relatives and etc. And those that are not urgent and they are not important, just eliminate them. Delete these activities. The second method or technique is the ABC method. This ABC method is a simple and a structured way for students to organize their academic and personal tasks based on the priorities and urgency. It helps the student reduce pressure. It also increases your productivity, and it also ensures that important responsibilities are completed on time. Like for A is a top priority where we must do, or we call them the high impact. These are the tasks that are critical for academic success. They're also based by the time bound that is due soon. And they have major consequences if not completed. And for a university student, A tasks often includes submitting a research paper or assignments, which is due within 24 or 48 hours. Studying for an exam happens within the week. That one you categorize them under task A. Completing a project or doing data analysis for those students who are doing projects or for masters and postgraduate students, it's also under task A activity. Preparing for a class presentation schedule, which is scheduled for tomorrow, you can also categorize them under task A. Registering for a course at the university is very important. You register for a course before the deadline. So you make sure that this one, you put them under category A. One of the characteristics of these top priorities activities is that they cannot be postponed. You cannot postpone an exam. If the university has scheduled exam, you cannot postpone. If you postpone your exam at the university level, you can sometimes encourage penalty. The other characteristic of these top priorities is that they directly influence your grade. They also influence your progress or if you are under scholarship. And I will advise you that complete task A first every day, even if these tasks feel difficult. For the B component, which is medium, or what we call them should do, or moderate impact, these tasks are important, but they're not immediately urgent. They contribute to the long-term and academic success of your stay at the University of Eldoret. They also contribute to your personal development, or they improve your performance. Example of these activities is, as a University of Eldoret student, is reading ahead of the next week lecture. It's not urgent, but you need to do it. That's why I'm talking about you should do them. They have a moderate impact. So reading ahead of the next week's lecture, you can categorize them under B. Drafting part of a term paper, which is due in 3 weeks, you can put them under medium priorities. Revising for a lecturer notes, you can put them under category B. Meeting with the study group, which you have learned in first year that a characteristic of a good study group, you need to also put them under category B, because meeting with a study group to improve for a midterm exam or a term paper, you can put them under priority B. Even just updating your CV. Sometimes when you're on your holiday, you also need to submit your CV and etc. So these are not, they're just medium priorities. So you can place them under moderate impact, or what we call them should do. One of the characteristics of this is that they are ideal and can be done after task A. You can also postpone them. When you postpone them, they does not cause immediate harm, but they can create future problem. So you can, the tip is that try to schedule these B tasks during free blocks in your timetable. Also under this goal prioritizing technique is C, sorry. C, we call them the low priorities, where we call them the nice to do. They have minimal impact. These tasks have little impact on immediate academic success. They are most optional and cannot be done if time allows. For example, browsing extra reading materials, not required. It's nice, but it's not urgent. It's not a priority. It has minimum impact. Attending of optional campus events, for example, Freshers Night and etc. It's good, but it's optional unless they support your goal. So you can put them under the minimum impact or the low priority. Watching TikTok or being on TikTok or doing those TikTok videos, these are low priorities. Or even just decorating your room or your hostel or organizing old files, these are low priorities. So it's very important that you apply this technique when you're planning for your time or when you're setting a goal. This characteristic of ABC method is that this C is that no major consequences if not completed, and completing them should not replace A and B. I will advise you that when it comes to this tip, make sure that you use C tasks as a break or filler when mentally tired. When you're just tired or when you want to relax is where you can use C. But make sure that you don't replace C with A and B. In that chat box, tell me one task from your typical week, and I will recommend that you try to place them into matrix. Just try to in that chat box, tell me one task from your typical week that you can place at A, B, and C. Kindly. Which one are you going to place in A? Which one are you going to place at B? And which one are you going to place at C matrix using the ABC method? Attending social interaction events, which section? Because I've explained that we have A, B, and C. So which one are you going to place? Connection is A or B or C? Or C? Or just share which are the least important. For C, just mention for the C, which we have said that we can use them as a filler when mentally tired. Are you going for TikTok? Are you going to do Freshers Night? Or are you going to Junction or Sogomo to Naktari is talking of events. Which events? So make sure that we are very clear. The other, maybe for the interest of time, the other priorities is number 3, we call it Pareto principle. And this is the 80 to 20% rule for the university. When you are a university student, this principle is where we apply the 80 to 20 rule. This rule states that 20% of your effort should produce 80% of your results. And as a university student, this means that not all tasks contribute equally for academic success. Some activities have higher impact than others. And when you talk about the 80, you know there is 80 to 20 rule. And when you talk about 20% of your study activities should produce 80% of your learning. An example is reviewing your lecture notes right after class should be, that 20% should lead to 80%. Doing past papers and quizzes, just alone this 20% should lead to 80%. Consulting your lecturer should be that part where you are doing it 20%, but it should be leading to 80%. Engaging in learning activities where you do summaries, flashcard, teaching your colleagues or team teaching should be part of your 20%. And also working on major assignment early. These activities dramatically improve your understanding. It will also improve your grade, and it also improve your confidence. How can student apply this rule? I will advise my students that try to identify the top 20 tasks each morning. Ask yourself, which 2 tasks today will have a bigger impact? Does this rule task first before any other? Reduce and try to eliminate the low impact activities so that you protect your time. And also, I will advise you that you review weekly and try to adjust on which activities actually improved your academic grade and understanding. The other component that I just wanted to mention today is habit formation strategies. When you look at these habits, we understand that habits are the backbone of a goal achievement. And research has shown that about 60%, 60 days forms a habit. When you do an activity for 60 days, it will form a habit. I want you on a scale of 1 to 10, just on a scale of 1 to 10, how consistent are you with your study habit? Type the number. On a scale of 1 to 10, how consistent are you with your study habits? Because we are saying that habits are the backbone of goal achievement. And research has shown that if you it takes about 66 days to form a habit. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how consistent are you with your study habit? How are you consistent? One means low, and on that scale, maybe I will guide you. This scale is 1 means, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 means the lowest, 10 means the highest. How consistent are you with your study habit? We have 5 out of 10, 6. We also have 6, 10, 5, 10. We don't have someone on 10 out of 10. Charles Lagat, I've seen 5 out of 10. And we have agreed that when you talk about this habit, because we are about looking at the habit formation strategy, and we want to assist you to form a habit for goal setting and time management. And research have been done, and it has established that when you do an activity for consistently for 60 days, it forms a habit. And from this table, it means that for you to build a strong habit, you need to take care of Start small. Start something small. If you have not been reading, start small. Initiate with a manageable task to build the momentum. Try also to stay consistent. Try to also shape your environment and try to track your progress, such that at the end of this cycle, you'll be able to celebrate those small wins. Dr. Sembele mentioned about celebrating those small wins. This will only happen if we look at this 4 habit formation strategy, where you start small. If you have not been reading, if you have poor habits like even attending your strategy classes, try small. If you don't complete your task on time, start small. Try to be consistent, stay consistent. Try to shape your environment, mostly surrounding you by the support system, your friends. Try to look at those people around you that can shape your goals, and try to track your progress. And at the end of the day, you will celebrate those small wins. And I've also prepared this time management strategy. It is now a big one, time management. Let me show you this tool and the methods that may successfully be used. You can use a planner. Don't know if it is that table is clear. You can use a planner. The first one, use a planner or a digital calendar. When you have a smartphone or a laptop, you can use a digital calendar to plan your activity, or you can use what we call the Google Calendar or a Notion template. You can also apply the Pomodoro technique, where we talk about 25 minutes study and you have a 5 minutes break. Try also to create a daily routine for waking, for waking up in the morning, the routine for studying, time to prepare your meals or to go for meals, and also time for rest. Also try to have a big task. Try to break the big task into small steps. Avoid multitasking. If you want to manage your time well, try to avoid multitasking. Also try to identify your try to identify your most productive hours. If you work well during morning session, make sure that you wake up very early and work on your academic journey. Try to review your weeks and adjust. If you have an issue, you try to review that week where you did not achieve your goal and try to adjust. I want you to look at your phone or your laptop and tell us what is your next academic deadline. Do you have any academic deadline? In chat box. Do you have any deadline, academic deadline? Do we have any deadline for our activity? In your calendar, on your calendar or on your laptop or on your phone, so that we know if you have an activity deadline. And try to share what is that activity. Aisha, she's saying that she has a deadline on 17th, which is a cut. What are some of the activities you also need to understand, or maybe share what are some of the things you're preparing for that activity, or how are you preparing for that activity? Gladys is a submission of assignment. That's great. Please share. And this is how planning becomes practical, not theory. Try to share. So for those who don't have those schedule, or those deadlines, try to have one. Dr. Sembele mentioned that during our days, we used to have a notebook where we used to put those deadlines. I've seen Catherine Silali talking about report writing for my project before April. That's good. So that means we need to have our deadline, especially when your next academic deadline. Let us have a case study. I've projected this case study. And did you know that at the University of California, Berkeley University, a time management workshop like this led to major improvement in student performance, and it reduced stress. And the same transformation is possible at the University of Eldoret. Are you ready? That is my question. Are you ready? Or are you on track? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Because there was a similar workshop that was done in US on time management. And they just also organized a workshop for their students. And that workshop led to improvement in time management. And it also led to reduction in the stress of the student. And we believe that this same transformation is possible here at the University of Eldoret. The question is, are we ready? Are we on track? At the University of Eldoret, are we on track? Are we ready? Naktari is saying that we are ready because it was done somewhere. There was a workshop. There was that training. And it led to improvement in student performance, and it also led to reduction in stress. Are we on the right track? Coach is saying yes. Farados is saying yes. Griffin is saying, sorry. Coach is saying yes. Lagat, yes. So we are on the right track, and we are ready. So to wrap our session today, I want you to create a 3-point action plan. Try to create a 3-point action plan. And this 3-point action plan, I want you to, during your free time, try to set your goals. Try to set your goals. And this goal must be smart. Also try to have one supporting habit. What are some of the, what one habit that you're going to change or to improve on? And also try to mention one time management strategy you will start using. And you need to understand that consistency will beat perfection. With the right goal, the right habit, and the right time management approach, you can excel academically and still enjoy your life at the University of Eldoret. I'm proud of the work you have done today. Let us keep building our personal mastery. For the interest of time, Chair, I think I will stop there. Thank you. Dr. Miaka?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I've used it, Dr. Emo, it is 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
I don't know if, but that was worth it. I think I like the engagement. I get a feeling that we are almost coming up with our own plans to support us in fulfilling and achieving our objectives as both students. And of course, immediately after training, we are getting into world of work. And all these things that we are talking about, really, it's very useful in what we do. I don't know if Dr. Emoit is in a position to just pick it up from there. I can see. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dr. Emoit.
Thank you, Dr. And Dr. Sempele and Dr. Mchimuti. Thank you so much for that insightful, very, very enriching presentations that you have given. Of course, all geared towards helping our students, and not just our students, even ourselves, to understand who we are, and to be able also to, at every moment, every hour, that is where you stand. You should know what you are at that particular time, and of course, that one will help you to figure out your next move or to make decisions on how to proceed. So I don't know whether I've been made the host so that I can share my work. Let me just see. Is it possible for me to be given the rights? I see Branis Nafula is now the host. Okay, thank you very much. So let me see if I can. Okay. So I don't know whether you can see me from your end, my work.
Yeah, we can see the telly.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Emoit Omuse from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, University of Eldoret. And I'm glad to be part of this team that is handling a session on personal mastery. And Dr. Mchimuti and Dr. Sempele started us off by looking at the various components that make up this particular topic. I would like just to build on what they have taken us through and focus on the topic of self-awareness and identity. That is what I want to seek within the remaining time and see whether we'll, by the end of this particular session, be able to come out knowing who you are, knowing who we are, like I'm saying. Do you know the person that you are? Sometimes some people even go further and ask, the question is, how many persons are in the person that you are? Let's just take an analogy or an example. Most of us bear maybe 2 names in the list, some 3 names, some even up to 4 names. Do you know at what time, let's say your name is, let me use mine, Emo Itomose. Do you know at what point Emoit is in charge in your life? Just replace Emoit with your first name. Then what times is Omuse? Replace Omuse with your second name. Is in charge. If you have a third name, what time is that name in charge of your life? Then are you conscious at every of these times that I think where I stand now, it is this person in the identity of this first name that is in charge, and at another time it is this other person that is in charge in charge of my life, because that is very important in helping us to appreciate, to understand who we are, and that appreciation or understanding of yourself, like I mentioned, helps us to make decisions on the trajectory or on where we ought to move to. For example, Dr. Muchimuti has made a very intensive discussion on setting goals. You cannot set a goal, personal goal for that matter, if you're not aware about who you are. You must understand first who you are, and then now that one will give you a foundation. It will give you the ground on which to stand on as now you focus on that target that you have set in life. And then you must also be very conscious. I've just given that example of, let's go with the three names. The three persons in one. You must be very conscious at every time so that you are able, let me say, to beat each of these persons, the three persons in you. You must be able to sort of make compromises so that all these persons align to your goal, to your vision. All of them must be in agreement. Sometimes you can find these different personalities. Again, if you can use that term, different personalities pulling towards different directions, and therefore, in such cases, you will be in trouble because it's very likely that you will not be able to achieve your goals. So that is it. And sociologists or psychologists will tell us that indeed we are more than one person in one. That is true. And therefore, like I'm saying, it's very important for us to see how to carry along all these persons so that you are able to focus, so that you are able to be consistent and keep your eyes on your goal. So when we talk about self-awareness, then we are really focusing on a deliberate effort, or we say conscious knowledge of our character, our feelings, our emotions. We can also talk about our desires, and these feelings, these emotions, these desires form the foundation of who we are. That is, they help us to understand who we are, and therefore we are able to master ourselves. And once you are able to master yourself, again, I repeat, it enables you
Do we lose Dr. Emoit?
Yeah, I'm also wondering what happened. Maybe some network issues. Let me call it.
Sorry, I seem to have dropped. I don't know whether you can hear me now.
Yes, we can. But your presentation also dropped.
Oh, my presentation also dropped. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, okay. Are you able to see?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very well. So I was just talking about self-awareness, that it helps us to be in charge. Once you're able to know who you are, and then you are in charge. You are able to take control of your the three main faculties in ourselves: how you think, how you react to situations, how you perform tasks, because all those ones in us act like a system. They support one another. Then, when you look at identity, because those are the two areas here, identity encompasses our beliefs, our personalities, the way we appear, maybe our looks, that define you, that define you. So that if we say, for example, Dr. Sempele, then what defines the person by that name? How do we know that particular person? So that identity, our self-awareness and identity form the bedrock or the foundations that that shape our worldview. The two shape the foundation of our worldview. So as students, it's very important. It's very important for us, students, and even us, teachers, and any other person. Because when you look at when you talk about the university setup, then we have different stakeholders, and all these stakeholders work together. They work in harmony, so that now, as an institution, we are able to achieve the purpose for which that university exists and our own purposes. So it's very important to know our feelings at different times. That is why when I started, I said, in you, there are different persons. That is why sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are maybe downcast, sometimes you feel like talking to other people, sometimes just wish to be alone, things like that. So it's very important that you appreciate those persons in you and how those persons manifest in you. Because then those manifestations are the things that will help you to make decisions. Because look at it this way. Sometimes you may be confronted by a situation, and then you have a very intensive debate within yourself. Then now the different persons in you decide having a serious discussion on that particular matter. So if you are conscious, if you are aware of who you are, in other words, of these persons within you, then you will be able to come up with sober decisions. You'll be able to get good guidance, informed guidance, directional guidance, and therefore you'll be able to make realistic assessments of the situations and come up with conclusions or directions that will be helpful to you. So that is very important. To me, that's very important always as a person. You must be conscious. You must be aware of exactly what defines you, your identity. Then are you aware of yourself? And that awareness will always stem from your deliberate efforts towards appreciating, towards understanding the person that you are. So then, how do you understand yourself? What helps you? What can help you to understand exactly who you are? Then there are a number of what we can call posts in a person that can help you to have a very good understanding of yourself. And that understanding, of course, will be very key in coming up with your personal vision. It will help you to come up and be defined by the values of who you are, and of course shape your perspective, shape your worldview. So the first one is, of course, towards help compelling. It's a clear picture of your desired future. What Dr. Muchimuti has just discussed to us, how to come up with the personal goals. And of course, goals, you narrow them into objectives. Because if we follow the example of the general definitions of goals and objectives, then we can say goals is what you set out as a person to achieve within a very long time, and they are general. But of course, objectives are very specific, and you seek to achieve them within a specified time. So every day when you start your day, you often always set what you seek to achieve on that particular day. The same thing for the week, same thing for the month, same thing for the year, same thing for the duration of your studies, and of course, even after you exit school, then you will be able to do that. So you must have a personal vision, very important, because this one serves as a guiding star. It helps you to align your actions with your long-term aspirations. So that's why, of course, you hear people, if we use the street language, people ask you, maono yako ni nini kwa maisha? Ungependa kuwa mtu aina gani kwa maisha? So that's why it's very important for you to have set or to set your personal vision. And my assumption is from where you are now, you must be very clear on where you wish to be, the direction you want your life to be. You can create a very clear mental image of your life. And that on its own is a great motivation in life. Just having a vision is a great motivation, because it is that mission, and that mission is like a target that will always beat you into the line. If you veer off the line, then your vision will always bring you back to the line, because your focus will always be directed towards the attainment of that particular vision. Then another thing is personal values, and these are principles and beliefs that guide our behavior and decision making. If you are able to tell or to know your values, then that one helps you to make decisions that are important in defining who you are. So I don't know, as a person there, just reflect as we go through this. What are your personal values? Then number two, are those personal values aligned to your vision? And then working backwards, do you have a vision? What is your vision? So reflect on that as we go on this particular presentation. Then number three, as an ingredient that helps us to understand ourselves, is having perspectives. And our perspectives are shaped by our experiences, they're shaped by our culture and also our beliefs. So awareness of your perspective allows you to understand how to interpret events and interact with others. See that, very important. Sometimes we overlook these important components or ingredients that really help us or equip us with life skills to survive in the society. Because, like I've already said, what is your vision? Then what defines you in terms of what are your values? What do you stand for? What are you known for? And do you hold those values dearly in your life? Then are you consistent in the way you embrace these values as your life manifests through the various stages of life? Or are you the kind of person who holds one value today, then tomorrow or the next minute, you have dropped that value, you've embraced another value, so that people say, "Ay, now you nafikiria hapo hivi, then what is happening here?" I can't believe ya kwamba huyu mtu ambaye nilikuwa namjua. Then it means you just wobble. Yeah? You are not consistent. You are not consistent in life. And of course, inconsistency breeds challenges in someone's life, leading to failure to failure to achieve the target that you have set for yourself in life. So, of course, all of us go through experiences, some pleasant, some unpleasant, and they tell us these experiences shape our perspectives. But awareness of who you are will help you. For example, if you have gone through experiences that are unpleasant, for example, then understanding yourself and looking at where you want to get to will help you to move away. So that, let's say, you went through a very bitter, very unpleasant experience that brought a lot of pain in your life. And of course, that experience, the negative experience, like I'm saying, if you allow it to take charge of your life, then you may end up achieving negative results in life. So it's very important for us. Depending on your experiences, depending on culture, that is your philosophy, our philosophy in life, your community where you come from. All of us come from communities. Communities have beliefs, communities have practices. Some of these beliefs, practices are good, positive. Some of these practices are negative. So are you a dynamic person that is able to say, this is my culture, yes, but maybe this particular cultural practice may not be very helpful to me as a person, as I seek to achieve my target. Because culture, like anything, is very dynamic. Often we drop aside, or we set aside, or we drop cultural practices that are not very helpful. Then we embrace those ones that are helpful, or we tweak a bit so that you align them with the current times. So it's very important. It's not just experiences as they are, but you must be able to, let me use the word manipulate these experiences, be able to adjust your cultural background, and so that it helps you to understand and interpret events. And of course, it also helps you to fit in a society, in a group, in a community, and it brings harmony in your life and harmony with people around you. So then there are steps to self-awareness, practical steps that can help us as persons, so that you are able to build on and be aware, always be conscious of who you are. Because we've repeated over and over that understanding yourself helps you to align the different players or different activities around you, and you align them to your vision or mission or what you wish to be in life. So you can undertake some of these activities. First one, we call it vision board. That is, you create a visual representation of your goals and aspirations to keep you motivated and focused. I've already say that. So you sort of prepare in your mind, or you can even do it paper and pencil, or nowadays you can get the right maybe software, then you do that so that you keep your eyes on the ball. You set out your mission, your vision. Every time you must remind yourself. Even as teachers, when we teach, that is what we do in class. That when you go to teach a particular topic, then you must have set out the expected learning outcomes. So through the lesson, you must keep on going back, looking at those expected learning outcomes, and of course, trying to determine whether you are on the right path to achieving those set expected learning outcomes, or you are veering off from the goals. Because a goal and an objective for what we achieve in the present time plays different roles. It plays different roles. It acts as a reminder of where you want to get to. It helps you to assemble the necessary instruments that will facilitate you are getting to the destination that you have set out to achieve. And then it also motivates you because nobody compels you to set this particular vision. It's yourself. And therefore, what you participate or what you set out acts as a motivator to you as a person. Every day you wake up like a farmer. You say, this year must be my year, I want to improve my production. I want to improve my production from last year. So that one motivates the farmer to get up very early in the morning, go supervise the farm, make sure that everything that is required for that outcome that he expects is in place, and make sure that everything is done accordingly so that the farmer gets what he or she wishes to get. So the same applies to us as persons, students, as teachers, as members of the university community. It's very important for us to always have that visual representation of our goals, because that one will keep us motivated and focused. It keeps our eyes on the ball. So that is the first step that we ought to have, one of them. Then another one is value clarification. Here, you must reflect on your values. You must every day remind yourself, what are the values that define me? For example, talk about kindness. You talk about friendliness. You talk about being there for people who matter in your life, being human. Those are values. Those are values that can easily define who you are. But of course, the opposite of those ones also exist. So it's very important for you as a person to have them, not necessarily listing them on paper, because these are things that you must internalize, you must build within yourself, and carry them every day. And carrying them every day means you must be able to always reflect, always think about them, and of course, focus on them, because that is very important in terms of decision making, in terms of decision making. Then another step is what is referred to as perspective taking. And under perspective taking is, they say, is engaging in activities that expose you to a diverse few viewpoints so that you broaden your understanding. What that simply means is you must not be an island in your life. Not be an island in life. Be a very productive member of the society, and you can only be productive by engaging with others. And you can improve your worth by looking around what other people are doing, picking the best or picking what is helpful from them. And that one helps you to improve even the pace at which you seek to achieve your target or your goal. It will help you, or it will provide you with the tools such as efficiency in achieving those tools. Because sometimes you may have set out your goal, then you are getting stuck, or the way you move is not as fast, or even not as fast, but you keep on veering off. You make progress, then you get discouraged, you remain in a state of flux. Sometimes you almost give up. Like you say, no, it's like everything is falling apart. My friends are running away. Nobody cares for me. You see, all those things play out in our lives, But if you are conscious of who you are, you know who you are, you understand yourself, you understand the persons in you, so that when those persons start engaging, conflict arises, they argue in you, they arrive at decisions, and you are conscious of yourself, then you'll be able to come up with the decisions that help you. But what we are saying is you must be proactive in life. Understand different scenarios. People sometimes talk about having several plans in your life. And of course, from those plans, you'll always pick the best that will understand, will help you. So those are some of the steps that are very important for us. Then how do you assess, how do you, as a person, as a student, seek to understand your strengths and your weaknesses as components that are important for your self-strength? Because there is no person who is absolutely good in life. All of us have shortcomings. Somebody said, if they say you are good, then it means the positive attributes in you outweigh the negative attributes. But of course, that one also is also dependent to situations. There are situations where the good outweigh the bad, and sometimes the bad in you comes out, or rears its head more than that. But again, we fall back to the definition of self-awareness and personal identity. That if you appreciate that you have weaknesses and strengths, then that in itself, or that alone, is very critical in moving you forward as a person, helping you to grow up, helping you to be a useful member of the society. And of course, be at peace with yourself, because you will be focused on the goal that you had set, and that will motivate you, will move you towards the attainment of that particular goal. So it's very important in the knowledge that we are human beings. Even Jesus Christ owned up that in another component is a person with weaknesses. That is why repentance is there. Go before your Lord and ask God to forgive you, God to help you navigate through challenges like that, because you appreciate that you are a human being. So how can you navigate through life if you don't know your weaknesses, if you don't know your strengths, if you just exist like that, then it will be very challenging. So it's very important in this standpoint of self-awareness and self-identity that you should be able to know what are the stronger attributes in me, what are the weaknesses in me. And then the strong attributes in you, you must ask yourself, what can I do so that I improve, or so that I strengthen and build on these strengths in order to achieve my goal. These are my weaknesses. What can I do to overcome or to navigate around these weaknesses? How can I turn these weaknesses into strengths? When you attend an interview, one of the questions that is often asked is, what do you think what are your strengths? They ask you that question. Then the following question is always, what are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? So you see, our discussion here is not just for this particular time, but it also prepares us for future engagements, including the interviews that I'm talking like that. So with self-awareness, then you must be able to undertake an analysis of your strengths, your weaknesses. Then, of course, that one, again, I will help you to understand or to appreciate who you are. So under this particular component, then a student must identify, or we, I think I'm very comfortable with that particular term, because even in a teaching learning environment, learners benefit, teachers benefit, those ones around us benefit, and learning can move either way, from the learner to the teacher, from the teacher to the learner. So I think for that reason, let's use the what is it? The pronoun we are here. So we must undertake an analysis of our strengths. What are our weaknesses? What are our opportunities? What are our threats? So that you gain a comprehensive view of your current state. But of course, we'll go further and say not just current state, but your state now, your state in the next moment, and of course, your state in a future. Then you can also, towards assessing your personal strength and weaknesses, you can use a tool, the tool there, questionnaire, self-assessment questionnaire. Tools like personal mastery self-assessment to evaluate your competence and areas for improvement. What simply that means is you come up with a tool, and to me, it doesn't necessarily must be a written questionnaire. It's like you pause and reflect. You pause and ask yourself questions. Have a discussion with yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are my strengths? How can I improve those strengths? What are my weaknesses? How can I overcome those weaknesses? Just revolving around what we are saying. Then another way is what is referred to as 360-degree feedback. Don't be afraid. Gather feedback or get input from your peers, your mentors, your teachers, your parents, your neighbors, so that you know they tell you truth. Because you can go to someone who will always tell you things to please you. That particular person doesn't build you. But the people will be courageous enough and tell you the truth about yourself. Sometimes they may tell you truths that are annoying, truths that are painful, truths that will make you even question your own self and your existence. But you know, that is very important. That is very important. That feedback is very important because it will go a long way to helping you to be a better person. And relating to your personal goal, they will help you. They'll help you to refocus and, of course, be consistent in getting to your target. So let's not be afraid. Notice identity. They tell us identity is even about looks. There's no problem if you ask your friend, how do I look today? Then your friend tells you, I think you look like a wathog or something like that. It doesn't mean that you are a wathog. Maybe the friend tells you no, maybe today the way you have you've prepared yourself is not very good. So that one will make you, it will help you to improve on that particular component. Or how did I perform this task? Maybe you're presenting in class. Then after a presentation, you ask your classmates, how did I perform? Then the classmates tell you, no, you didn't maintain eye contact. Some tell you, no, you are not able to explain the points very well. Others will tell you, oh, the dressing was very good. You see, that is positive. But presentation may be not good. You see, you don't get annoyed by that. That feedback in our lives is very important because it helps us. It helps us to get truthful or honest views from others, and therefore that one helps us in understanding ourselves, and it helps us in improving our performance. Of course, there are also self-reflection tools, that can help us in our quest or in our daily endeavor to understand ourselves. For example, we have a tool called journaling. You can undertake what is referred to as mindfulness, meditation. Then there is a tool there named after someone called Nikam, reflections. So the first tool to keep us always relooking at ourselves with a view to improving the way we live or improving our performance is journaling there. And that one, it says maintaining a journal, daily journal, to document your thoughts, your feelings, experiences. Then as a student, this practice aids you in recognizing patterns and areas of growth. So you can sometimes keep some sort of a recorded document of yourself, looking at your reflections. And every day we engage in different activities, we reflect on many things around us. We come up with ideas. We come up with thoughts. You see, you are not a machine as a human being. Often you forget some reflections, and those reflections may be very helpful to you. The way you react to people around you, react to situations, react to the different occurrences in life. So it's very important you have a documentation of your thoughts, your feelings, because it will help you to determine or to form a particular pattern. And like we are saying, or like we said, every day you must, as a person, be conscious of the things that happen to you and how you react to them. If your reaction, let's say, is not helpful to the attainment of your goal, then you adjust. If your reaction is helpful towards the attainment of your goal, then you build on that and you move on. Meditation is the practice where you as a person engage in mindfulness or a mindful practice to stay present and develop a deep understanding of your internal states. From the word meditation simply means or generally means reflection. Sometime in the quietness of your life, in the moment where you are alone, and it's very important for all of us to get these opportunities where you are alone, then you just have a thoughtful sort of throwback of your life. You see, for example, this is December now. You say in January, I'd set out to do 1, 2, 3. Or in January, I had promised myself that I will achieve this one. So in the moment of quietness, you just, it's very important for you to start playing out, reflecting on your life and see, are you on the right path? Have you tripped and therefore gone outside your lane? What are the things, the challenges, the obstacles, the enablers of you achieving that? So it's very important. As even Christians do that a lot. Reflection, meditation, go somewhere in a quiet place, then you meditate. So that is a very important tool, self-reflection tools, in all geared towards helping us to understand ourselves. And of course, with that understanding, then we are able to improve our performance. Then this Japanese, I don't know to call him sociologist or someone, by the name Nikan, sorry. It says that this is a Japanese method involving 3 questions. What have I received from others? What have I given to others? What troubles have I caused others? You see, those are very basic questions, but very important in our lives. Are you the kind of person, for example, who always expects others to work for you? Do you always look upon others for your survival? You always expect to receive, but you don't give. What kind of person are you? Just ask yourself those questions as we continue our discussion here. So, what have I received from others? Then, what have I given to others? Even receiving and giving. For example, someone gives you something of a certain value. And by value here, I don't just mean material things. Even ideas. Yeah, we receive ideas from others. Do you share those ideas with others, or you get those ideas and keep them to yourself? Yeah? Are you a root, an enabler to the sharing of information that helps you? Or are you the kind of person who says, I have this idea, and this idea seems to work, but I don't want my friend, I don't want my classmate, I don't want someone around me to pick it up because my friend or my classmate may perform better than myself using this particular idea. See that. Do you give back Yeah? Do you give back to your friends? Do you give back to family? Your parents, for example, your siblings, the community? Do you give back? Later on in life, when you succeed, are you the kind of person who will reflect? Will you reflect and say, the society enabled me to study and excel in school? Enabling you means on your way to school, the society gave you peace, gave you safety to get to school and back. Those are the kind of things that we take for granted. That society doesn't play a role like that. Society must be peaceful so that you are peaceful. Society must support you through the support it provides to schools. So if you succeed, you go back to the society at any given time and give back. Yeah? Very, very important questions for building us and improving our perspectives of ourselves. Then what troubles have I caused others? At the end of the day, do you even think that maybe you hurt someone during the day? Do you even think that maybe your actions became an obstacle to somebody achieving something? Did you, for example, let's say, use the word cut the line while seeking service and therefore inconvenienced others? You see, yeah? Did you delay to participate in a meeting and therefore ended up inconveniencing others because the meeting did not end on time? So you must, those are very important using NICAM's reflections. Yeah? What have I given? What have I received? What problems or challenges have I caused to others? Very important. Because these questions, as given by NICAM here, helps us to appreciate others. That is to be always thankful. And of course, it also helps us to be accountable. We have given that. A friend gives you an idea, do you share with others? That's accountability. The society supported you to be in school. The school system supports you so that you pursue your studies in peace. Then do you support them as well? Then what challenges do you cause others, and your actions? Are they an impediment, or do your actions support the success of others? So it helps us to be to foster gratitude and accountability. So the impression or the sense you get here is that self-awareness, self-reflection, and the processes, the activities that go alongside helping us every day to stop, to pause, and to find out, are we the person that we are? What are our actions? Are these actions supporting other people's well-being, or are they becoming an impediment in other people's lives? Okay, so that is how you can reflect on that. And that one brings us to this last component of self-awareness and of personal integrity. Identity. Identity. So I want you as a student, just we take a moment here. We take a moment here and ask ourselves, again, are we aware of who we are? Are we aware of the different personalities that we possess at every moment? Then, do we have the necessary tools to make sure that we are in charge of these different personalities that are in us at every moment? Then, Are these personalities support the attainment of the goals we have set in life? That is what we must reflect on. Of course, studies have shown that people who are aware of who they are and the people who appreciate their identity, people who don't run away from their identity. Of course, when we talk about personal identity, and we've been told looks is one of the personal identity, it doesn't mean that you don't make yourself better. You do that, you improve that. But if you become bitter with your looks, for example, then that one becomes an inhibitor in your life. And if it becomes an inhibitor in life, then it stops you, or it becomes an obstacle to the attainment of your goal in life. So appreciate who you are, understand who you are, and see how to navigate through the various personalities in you so that you focus and achieve your goal. So I was just saying in conclusion that under this particular component that people who appreciate themselves, people who are aware of who they are, and people who also understand their identity. That a study carried out in the University of Concordia, it's called Concordia University. The findings indicated that such people always succeed in life. The opposite, of course, then applies. That if you are in conflict with yourself, if you seem to be blaming, even questioning, sometimes some of us go to very absurd points where you even question your parentage. Say, I wish I was born in a different family, or I wish I was born with parents with different qualities, especially looks. You see, so those things, like I've already mentioned, become an impediment, become obstacles to you achieving your goals in life. So you must be very deliberate. You must be very conscious. Seek to understand yourself. Seek to understand the strengths in you. Seek to understand the weaknesses in you. Find mechanisms, inbuilt mechanisms of navigating through those challenges, and you'll end up being a very useful person. And sometimes I say very happy with yourself in future. When you stop, maybe 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, or even 100 years to come. So most of you are 20, you are in your 20s, so you can live up to 100. So at that particular time, when you reflect and see where you have come from, then you'll be very happy with yourself. Okay, so very briefly, allow me just to go through this particular component. In the next maybe 20 or so minutes, I'll be done, because I know you must be tired also. So Saturday is full of activity, and also sitting for this long is not easy. Okay, so let's look at this particular topic, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, of course, building on the earlier discussions by Dr. Sempele and Dr. Mchimuti. So when you talk about emotional intelligence, what do we mean? What forms emotional intelligence in you? And just to remind ourselves, all in the quest of personal mastery, understanding ourselves. And understanding ourselves helps us to be at peace with ourselves. And if you are at peace with yourself, you keep the eyes on the ball. And if you keep the eyes on the ball, then at the end of the day, you are very happy with yourself. So we have the components of emotional intelligence. Was one of that is self-awareness, That is recognizing and understanding one's emotions and their impact on thoughts and behavior. Then number 2, self-regulation. Are you able to take charge to control your weaknesses or disruptive emotions and turn them into strengths in moments of pain, in moments of bitterness, in moments of uncertainty? Are you able to regulate yourself? Think about yourself and see. Or are you the kind of person who just erupts? If you are walking in the streets of Eldoret, for example, and somebody steps on your toe, then the next thing you are hurling maybe insults, or sometimes even you become violent. See that. As a teacher, an engineer, a forester in future, or a business person in future, if a customer comes to your store, then asks something, then expresses doubt on your products, how do you react to that? You see, do you erupt? Or you find a way of helping that customer to see the strengths of the beauty in that particular item and buy it. So self-regulation, self-control, being in charge of yourself in managing especially attributes, occurrences, or things that disorganize us, things that take us off the mark, and of course are now turning those things into meaningful things in life. Then another component of emotional intelligence is motivation. Motivation. And when we talk about motivation, normally, often we talk about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. In this case, we are talking about a person here. And what is important to a person is intrinsic motivation. And soul setting is a good example of internal motivation. Nobody asks you to do that. It's within you, in your own, we say, volition. You say, this is who I want to become in life. This is where I want to get to after 5, after 10, after 15, after 20 years. So, because you have set that goal yourself, then that particular activity or that particular process should become a motivator in your life. So that every day you remind yourself, I promised myself that I want to do this. I promised myself that I want to get to this. And therefore, I must make sure I get everything, all the tools that are required, so that I get to that particular point. So motivation is very important, because sometimes we are surrounded by people, by friends, by even family, that are very, they are always negative in our lives, very negative in our lives. Or they keep on setting very low targets in life, because they tell you, vile tunakuona wewe hauwezi kufika hapo hivi, ama wewe huwezi fanya. You see, and they pump that narrative until if you are a weak person, then you accept that sisi kwa familia yetu hatuendangi mpaka mahali fulani, ama hatuna uwezo wa kufika mahali fulani, ama hatuna uwezo wa kufanya vitu fulani. You see that? So those are the kind of things from our earlier discussions that you should be able to have built inbuilt mechanisms to overcome them. And fire yourself every time you fire yourself, every time you motivate yourself, every time you push yourself, every time you remind yourself, every time you learn how to be happy, how to be positive with yourself, and therefore keep on pursuing. Then another component is empathy. Empathy. And this one is the way you relate with others and share in their challenges, share in their feelings, share in their pain, without getting into their lives. Is different from sympathy, empathy here. Right? You see that your friend is going through a very difficult time. You are there for that particular person without becoming that person. Because if you become that particular person, then you destroy yourself. And therefore, if you're empathetic, then it means you share in the person's grief without getting into, not grief, but some things, especially things that hurt in life, experiences, bad experiences, or things like that. So that you support them, so that you support them. Because if you are sympathetic, then if a friend cries, then you will also start crying. So that if both of you now start crying, we'll help the other one. We'll assist the other one. Yeah? I'm just giving an example there. But if you're empathetic, you will feel for this friend. The friend will be crying. Then you will be coming up with mechanisms or tools to help your friend overcome whatever is making him or her to cry. If you are a farmer and you are a farmer friend, maybe that year his or her produce fails, then you empathize with that particular person. Then now you go and share with the person. Maybe find out what brought about that situation, then how he can mitigate against that situation. So empathy is a very good component of emotional intelligence. It's a very good component because it helps you to feel what others are going through without really getting into their shoes, and therefore you become a solution. You become an instrument of help that particular person, so that the person is able to get whatever she whatever is troubling the person, so that the person moves on. And then another component is social skills. And under this, it means the way we manage relationships to move people in desired direction, whether in negotiations, whether in work, places of work, in any engagement. You must be able to get, be able to work with others. That is what that simply means. A social human being, a friendly human being, a helpful human being, an empathetic human being. Those are social attributes. Those are things that are very important for us. And of course, you seek to make others better. Because borrowing from the Ubuntu philosophy, if others are good, then it makes me also good. If others succeed, I succeed. But like we mentioned earlier on, if you are the kind of person who does not share, for example, with others, so that others succeed, you become very selfish. You want to stop others from moving. Then that one is very, very negative in life. So you must have those skills, social skills, interaction with others, helping others, being a solution to others, and therefore others will also support you in the same way. Okay, so I say these are very brief component, or a very brief section. So this is the second last, but actually last slide of my presentation here. Strategies for improving emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. How do you improve this faculty, this particular faculty, the affective component in you? So there are various strategies as listed there in my screen. You can use that can use those strategies to help you in improving your emotional strategies. In conclusion, relating to this particular topic, based of course on studies elsewhere, the conclusion is that students, and I said it's good to use people because even us who are taking you through this benefit a lot from these discussions. People who have understood and developed the components of emotional intelligence can achieve greater personal mastery, leading to improved academic performance, enhanced interpersonal relationships, and overall personal growth. So you see that self-awareness, self-identity, emotional intelligence, setting of personal goals, all those ones are ingredients to our success in life. Very, very important. So let me end by saying that it's very important that you recognize who you are. It's very important that you are conscious, the challenges, the strengths, the weaknesses. It's very important that you always seek to work well with yourself, to work well with the people around you. It's very important for you to support others so that they also support you. Then it's always important to be there for yourself and be there for others. Then finally, of course, keep your eyes to the ball. Having formed or come up with your goal, focus on that goal, pursue it. And of course, it's not just one goal. We have different goals in life, depending on your priority at that particular time. And I think Dr. Mutiri highlighted that one very well, prioritizing your goals. But bottom line is focus on them and pursue them and find tools that will help you to get there. Thank you very much, team. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I must apologize. I'm a teacher of curriculum, and I know one important activity in any teaching is it must be very interactive. But I must apologize that it's really been one way. But I hope you have benefited in this particular discussion. We'll have another session maybe next week, next whatever. I think we'll be able to interact with you very much. And we also hope that maybe at an opportune time, we'll get time to be together, then we can interact, get to know one another, and of course support one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emait. Dr. Sembele, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Doc.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that interactive session. Our dear students, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of today's presentation, I want to take a moment to thank you for your engagement and thoughtful participation. We have journeyed through these 4 critical pillars for personal and professional growth, each offering a valuable insight for shaping a purposeful and fulfilling life. We began by looking at the personal mastery, where we explored, Dr. Sembele explored what it means, why it matters, and how developing clarity, discipline, and continuous learning can transform both our academic performance and career path. We also examined the goal setting and time management, where I focused on smart goals, prioritizing techniques, and habit formation strategy that helps turn intention into consistent and measurable progress. We then looked at self awareness by Dr. Emoit and identity, where he reflected on personal vision, value, strength, and areas of improvement, where he reminded our students that true growth begins with the understanding ourselves. He finally looked at emotional intelligence, where he unpacked the components such as self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. And these attributes not only how to shape how we and how we manage our emotion, but he highlighted on how we relate with others, where he emphasized on influence of teamwork, leadership, and the overall well-being. As our student and colleague, as we reflect on this theme, I want to encourage you to apply them intentionally in your daily life, especially on the component of personal mastery, which evolves through continuous effort, self-awareness, deepened thought, honest reflection, emotional intelligence, strength through the mindful practice, and meaningful goal, which are achieved through discipline and effective management of time. Thank you once again for your intention and participation. I wish you clarity, resilience, and success as you put these principles into action. Have a productive and fulfilling evening. Thank you, and let me send back this session to our chair, which is Dr. Eunice or Dr. Miaka. Thank you.
Dr. Mchumiti. Dr.
Yes, Dr.
Mchumiti.
Yes,
Yeah,
Dr.
maybe as they come in, let me also take this time to appreciate our students. It's been a long journey. The sitting, I'm sure, or the lying down, whichever that is applicable, has not been easy. So we really appreciate your patience. It will pay in the end. So keep that burning. We meet next week, God willing.
Thank you, Dr. Sembele. Karibu Dr. Miaka or Dr. Eunice.
If I may, as we wait, my name is Branis. Thank you. I'm from the team under TAGDev. We really appreciate you, the entire team, both tutors and the students, for being here. We appreciate the work you've given us, and I'm sure this will go a long way for our students. We really, really appreciate your time. Given the time we've spent here, I wouldn't want to hold us back anymore, but to just appreciate you guys and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Madam Branis.
Yes, I think we can call it a day. We really appreciate you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.